TIFU I fell asleep in the bathtub, by user expensive _Ari _3438. So I have the flu and a bunch of mini issues that came with that, ear infection, nausea, headaches etc. So for the first time in a very long time I decided I was gonna soak in a bath. I have like 3 bath bombs in the back of my bathroom cupboard I've had for maybe about 2 years because I usually shower not bathe, and I decided I wanted to use the glittery peach one. To my horror and apparently my husband's, that peach glitter bath bomb is neither peach nor glittery but the closest red I've seen to blood. I'm soaking and I knock out. I must be a shallow breather? From what I was told I was faced away from the door, and the way my hair draped down made me look as though I was face down in the water. I'm a very heavy sleeper. I have like 20 morning alarms to wake up and still tend to get up late, so my husband touching my leg didn't wake me up, nor did his scream. And apparently my skin felt ice cold. My brother-in-law runs and starts freaking out, running back to find his phone, and my husband tries to grab and hold me. I imagine this was very dramatic, and in that process my head goes under the water for a second and I pop up because I got water in my nose. I'm confused as to why my husband is crying. My brother-in-law runs back and thanking God, and husband is trying to find where the blood was coming from. I'm obviously terrified by the audience while I am but naked in this bath, and as if it couldn't get worse I was asleep so long the bubbles were gone, so I was just exposed. I yelled at them to get out and just stood up and showered. Definitely not a fan of this situation, gonna stick to showers. Gonna avoid my BIL for the rest of my life. Took a bath, bath bomb made water look bloody, fell asleep, woke up to a grieving husband and BIL. TIFU by microwaving my girlfriend's leftover rice, by users schmost. So this all started Saturday night. My girlfriend and I went out and picked up some Korean food, beef, rice, and a few other things. We had 2 containers of rice, and after we ate we packed up the leftovers and called it a night. When she left I ate the rest of the beef and my portion of the rice. Since there were 2 containers of rice I figured we still had some leftovers and went to bed. The next morning I went grocery shopping. When I got home I shredded a pound of Monterey Jack cheese, used some of it for a cheese dip and put the rest in one of my Tupperware containers, where I keep all my leftovers obviously. Later my girlfriend came over and I asked if she wanted the rest of the Korean food. She said she just wanted the leftover rice and the sauce from one of her dishes. I was convinced we still had rice left over, and lo and behold there was a big Tupperware container in my fridge filled with rice. This is more than I thought we had last night, I thought, but I didn't think much of it. My kitchen was pretty dim, just the stove light, but it was enough to see a giant container of white rice. I started by putting a little bit of it in a bowl and focused on extracting the sauce to go with it. I didn't notice anything weird about the rice at first. It felt a little clumpy, but it was sticky rice, so I figured the consistency was normal. Then I microwaved it for a minute and a half. When it was done it was a burnt mess completely stuck to the bottom of the bowl. I recently got a new microwave and haven't used it much, so I figured maybe it was more powerful than I realized. Honestly I was more pissed about burning the sauce, as that was pretty much all that was left. Angry and determined I scraped the last bits of sauce into the giant Tupperware and figured my girlfriend would be fine with just a bunch of rice. This time I was going to be smart and only microwave it for 30 seconds. You can't burn anything in 30 seconds, right? Well, 30 seconds pass and when I take it out it's a giant white pancake. What the fuck? At this point I'm angry, embarrassed and feeling like a fool. I had to turn to my girlfriend and say, "Yeah babe, I don't know what's wrong with this rice but it keeps burning." She looked confused and said, "Hey." So I explained how it kept sticking together and melting. She came over, looked in the bowl and said, "That's cheese." I was like, "What? Did they put cheese in your rice?" thinking maybe hers was different than mine. She just started laughing and said again, "It's cheese." It took me a solid minute before it hit me. I microwaved a fucking pound of Monterey Jack cheese thinking it was rice. I don't know how I'm going to come back from this. I've been cooking for over 5 years, I was completely sober and I don't think I've ever questioned my sanity like this. But here we are. Oh, and to make matters worse, there was no rice. I ate it all the night before and didn't realize we only had 1 container of leftovers. TLDR, I accidentally microwaved a freshly shredded pound of Monterey Jack cheese thinking it was rice. TIFU by pulling out long hair out of my throat at the dinner table, by user Arnaz6. So there I was, sitting at the dinner table, nervously trying to impress my girlfriend's mom. She'd made her famous spaghetti, and I was determined to rave about it, even if it tasted like wet cardboard. It didn't, thankfully it was actually pretty good, but that's where my luck ended. Halfway through my second bite, I felt something strange. It wasn't pasta. It wasn't sauce. No, it was a texture that screamed, "You're not supposed to be here." I froze, mid-chew. My girlfriend noticed. "You okay?" Her mom was staring too, smiling proudly, oblivious to the horror unfolding in my mouth. I mumbled something like, yeah, delicious, but inside I was having a full-blown crisis. I subtly tried to swallow, thinking, just get it down. Pretend it never happened. Big mistake. That's when it hit me, it's a hair. A long hair. My brain went into overdrive. Should I just keep going and pretend I'm eating spaghetti floss? But then I felt the other end still in my throat. I had no choice. I grabbed the strand, said a quick prayer to the dinner gods, and pulled. And pulled. And pulled. This wasn't a normal hair. This was Rapunzel level. This was Disney princess wig territory. The worst part? The hair was coated, and I mean coated, with little bits of chewed spaghetti, meat sauce, and God knows what else from my digestive journey. It was like a disgusting spaghetti necklace. My girlfriend screamed, "Oh my God!" Her mom gasped in horror. I just sat there, holding the world's grossest magic trick. Her mom stammered, I don't know how that got in there. It's probably mine." Oh, great. That's what I needed to hear. I'd basically just French kissed her mom's scalp. I mumbled something about how it happens and immediately took a gulp of water to wash away the trauma. My girlfriend? She laughed so hard she cried. Her mom looked like she wanted to crawl under the table. TLDR, I found a ridiculously long hair in my girlfriend's mom's spaghetti, realized I had already swallowed part of it, and had to pull it out complete with chunks of chewed food while sitting at the dinner table. TIFU confronted GF about her DMS, by user S3 tickets. Little backstory, my girlfriend of 6 years runs a self-owned bakery and receives a ton of business. In August I notice a customer being a bit extra, but I kept it to myself. Fast forward and that customer's wife sends me a message of concern about the current intentions of the two, because the messages began to badmouth the both of us, his wife and me, so I confront my girlfriend on the matter in a calm, collected way, and now all of a sudden, I'm the villain. She's turned the kids against me, reached out to my parents saying she's afraid of me, and I'm sitting here like, what the F just happened to my life? I'm trying to decide where to stay in this moment. All while wondering what the hell went wrong? Should I have kept it to myself and let it continue? Or speak up as I did? Because right now it seems, speaking up was not the move. TLDR confronted GF. Now homeless. TIFU by emailing a restaurant about their kids' menu, and now I'm too scared to go back, by user Yoitsuzi. This morning, I was bored and passed by a restaurant chain I eat at a lot while on the bus. I like to draw on the kids' menu while waiting for food. I would sketch things like the people eating or the decorations around me. Recently, they changed the kids' menu. Now there is barely any white space to draw on. It annoyed me a little, but I brushed it off since I am 16 and cannot eat off the kids' menu anymore anyway. For some reason, I thought it would be funny to email them about it. I wasn't expecting a response or anything. My email was polite, and I explained my thoughts, but I was mostly joking because who cares about something this stupid? Apparently, they do. Now they are leaving me voicemails and calling me, and the manager of the local restaurant I listed in the email, it forced me to list my restaurant in the email, called me and left a voicemail. That is where I started panicking, because I go there a lot and they will recognize me as the one always drawing and asking for a menu to draw on. I feel so embarrassed. On top of that, I feel horrible for wasting their time. I am sure they have more important things to deal with than some random 16-year-old complaining about a kid's menu. Now I am too scared to go back there because I feel like they are going to recognize me, and this kinda ruined my favorite restaurant for me. TLDR, emailed a restaurant about their new kids menu as a joke. Now they keep calling me, and I am worried the manager knows who I am because I always ask for a kiddie menu to draw on. Feeling stupid and too embarrassed to go back.